now tuned in to the cold, hard truth. Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands. Miracle Brokers is back. That's right. We're fully reopened and back to work. Our agents are here to serve you with all of your packing and shipping needs. Need to move? Don't worry. Give us a call today. Collect a package, shipping around the world, or straight to Cayman? You got it. Give us a call on 949-5989. Collection by personalized appointment only, where our dedicated agents are on standby to personally assist you. Don't forget to wear your mask, maintain social distancing, and one person per appointment. Check us out at miraclebrokers.com today.
Okay, good morning, folks. I was peeping out the window. Let me just adjust this a little bit here. I was actually peeping out the window just now at an agouti. He was this close. He was like right outside the window this morning. Normally they're a little bit further away, but this one literally walked by the window and stepped on my front porch, walked on the front porch a little bit, and then went on about his business. You know, the more I see them, and I'm starting to see this particular one almost daily now, The more fascinating they become to me. Like, I think that they're just such amazing little creatures. A couple of years back, I went to Honduras, and there was a resort there in Honduras, the Pico Bonito Lodge. And on that resort, were like walking around all day long. I've never seen anything like it because I always thought that agoutis were more nocturnal animals, but like that, week, I think it was on Monday, I saw one after 11 o'clock in the morning. So I think sometimes, just depending on what they have going on, they do forage a little bit later in the day. I think they get out, um, when they can, and they kind of have a look around. But yeah, good morning to all of you. How are you guys doing? Give me 1 second here, and I'm going to see who has logged on with morning greetings. There is quite a bit that is going on in the world of news. So we're going to get caught up on some of those things. I'm just having a quick look here because I want to make sure that we are up to speed. And we are going to talk about, unfortunately, a fire incident this weekend where, people need our help. So there are times when we have to come together to help others, and this is certainly one of those times. So I am looking for some of the photo images. You guys remember on Monday we were talking about, was it Monday or yesterday? Gosh, sometimes the days just start to melt together. But we're talking about a stabbing incident where a man was stabbed in the early morning hours. And it was an establishment on Walker's Road. I'm thinking, establishment on Walker's Road. The first thing that comes to mind, is it a bar? Like, you're trying to figure out where this place is. But it turns out it was the gas station of all places, which is super crazy. But evidently, that's where the person got stabbed. So I don't know any of the details in terms of what transpired, but it does sound like something got crazy and started popping off at the gas station. It's, you can't even go to the gas station anymore. And, or you can't go anywhere and really feel 100% safe that something may not happen. Not necessarily to you, but just even in the surrounding area. So you just have to constantly be on the lookout for people acting less than smart, let's put it that way, which is unfortunate, right? So, good morning to all of you. I see that we have Jackie who's tuned in this morning. Good morning, Jackie. Olivia, thank you for tuning in. Carmelie says she has some men's clothes. If you guys will read the article, we're going to get to that here in a second. All the contact details are there in the article on how you can make your donation. Hi, Jake. Good morning. Evans Natasha is here. Rachel, thank you. Another Rachel says Keyman's Arc is coordinating the relief efforts. Yes, Rachel, we're going to get into that here in a second. That's the primary thing that we want to discuss this morning. Nellie, I'm good, thank you. And you guys know that last night I didn't have the usual live stream because I was out having dinner and a conversation with a friend, and it was just wonderful to be able to do that for a change, right? We don't get to do that as much as we would like to, but so I just did a quick check-in with you guys, and I loved that so many of you tuned in immediately, and it was quite a few of you actually last night. So Rosanna, good morning. Debbie, Catherine, Jewel, Lanny is willing to give clothes. Awesome. We need some clarification as well, Rachel. So I don't know if you have any information, but the toddler, everybody's trying to figure out, is the toddler a boy or a girl? Because I even still have some 3T items that I can donate, but I don't know if that child is a girl or a boy. So we're trying to get some clarification on that point. And we will be contacting the contact number ourselves this morning to get some further details. Morning, Sandy. Hi, Corrine. Marshall, thank you so much. Happy hump day. Yes, today is Wednesday, which means it is indeed hump day. And lots of agoutis around Savannah. My gosh, I had no idea. Now, Rachel and everybody else, I live in Lower Valley now, and I used to live in Newlands, which isn't that far apart. I mean, literally, they're like a couple blocks. And all the years that I lived in Savannah, down Rackley, I never saw an agouti. I don't know what it is. I just never saw them. So I always thought when people said, they were going hunting for agoutis and whatever, that they were going into the heart of East End to find these things, because I thought they must really be hidden deep in the bushes. Um, Turns out not really, because since I have moved to Lower Valley, I see them on a regular basis. In fact, when we first moved in, it was a daily occurrence that we would see them coming through our backyard and walking across the street, because there's something across the street that they like. And there must be a habitat really close by here, because they're always walking through our yard to get back to where they need to go. But they're up and down this entire area, because sometimes I'm driving and I'll see them. I saw one a few months back, and unfortunately got hit by a car. So I always try to be careful. I know that we eat them, and now I feel kind of bad about that in a way, because they seem to be such interesting little creatures, But yeah, they are all over the place for sure, and they get big. I mean, the one that I am talking about is like this big. So yeah. So the toddler is 3. So let's go through some of the details here. Give me 1 second. Um, Let me just pull up some stuff. So on Friday, you guys know that we reported a house fire. We actually got the news almost in real time as it was happening. I received some photos of the fire, and the initial photos that we received were people who saw the smoke, and they're like, okay, something's on fire in Georgetown. But they had no clue what it was. They were just like, listen, we only know that something's on fire. What is going on? And at first I thought, is that the dump again? And then I said, no, this can't be the dump, because it is like in central Georgetown. So as we obtained more information, shortly it started to become clear that this was actually a residential home, a structure that was on fire. And so we went about trying to ascertain, whose house was this, and we weren't able to get a whole lot of information at that time. So what we have since found out is that, and what I love about Cayman is right away, people came forward and said, hey, do you know whose house it is? It looks like it was a pretty significant fire where everything was destroyed. Do they need help? And that really makes me proud to be a Caymanian and someone living in the Cayman Islands, that people will reach out in times and situations like this and really inquire about who needs help. I saw a message on Facebook that was asking all sorts of questions about, are these people working? Are their homes insured? All this kind of stuff. And I think that this is the most inappropriate time for that sort of narrative. I mean, I don't know why any of that at this time is important, because honestly, who cares? When you're hit by a tragedy of this magnitude, you have to know that, you never know when it's going to be your turn, when something is going to happen that is going to just impact your family and you in such a way that, I'm just going to pull up a video here in a second. So just give me 1 second. Um, Yeah, you just never know when it's going to be your turn, when something tragic is going to happen that's going to impact you or your family, and that you may need help. I mean, I don't know these people. I don't know their financial circumstances, but if they have insurance, if they don't have insurance, we know that those things take time to activate and to implement. My God, if you've ever made an insurance claim of any kind, especially in the middle of a tragic situation like this, you will be more than aware of the fact that it's not, this just happened Friday. Today is now Wednesday. No insurance company is going to be like, oh, here's a check right away. My God, if you're insured with Fidelity, they'd probably take 6 months to pay you. So I mean, just it's not the time. It really, really isn't the time. And the questions that this individual was asking, I thought were just over the top and just ridiculous. I saw someone respond to him and said, what are you talking about? This isn't the time for that. The time right now, this article is about the fact that these persons need assistance, they need help. And now is the time for us to galvanize and provide them with the assistance that they need. It is as simple as that. Oh my God. Sometimes people just, I'm like, WTF, like seriously. I don't know, but let me show you. Someone actually captured the footage of the house. It looks like as firemen were there. So but this poor family have lost everything. So we are here to help. We don't need to ask any other questions. We don't need to know who they are, whether they have insurance, whether they don't have insurance. That is not a critical question at this particular stage. I'm sure that those things will be sorted out in due course. Right? Sorry. So what do they need? Looks like my poor computer is trying to freeze up on me here. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, house fire was significant. My apologies here. I'm typing that something is moving a little slow with the computer. So I'm just going to shut down a few applications. Yeah, so the house fire was significant. And the most immediate need is there were children in the home as well as adults, and they need clothes. So this is a family of 8. Now, I am not sure because I noticed that the list of family members and what they need wasn't 8. So I don't know if there are additional persons that we don't yet have information on. So we're waiting to clarify that to see if we should be adding to this list. But right now, we do know that there are a number of boys and a grandmother and a man that are in desperate need of clothing. So I'm just going to read off the list. And if you have any of these things at all, please, please, please contact ARC, which is Cayman's Random Acts of Kindness. They are coordinating this effort. So I am not going to personally be collecting anything. I want you to contact them. They will make the necessary arrangements to make sure that persons the persons who are in need of these things actually receive the assistance that they require. So let me just see if I can pull up the list here. As I said, the computer is just moving a little bit slow. Okay, so the list of items, we've got items for boys. Again, this is the house that unfortunately was, it looks just like completely destroyed and guttered. Good morning, Julianne. She is happy to make a cash donation. Catherine has plenty of stuff that can donate. Let me know what they need. Good morning, Yvonne. Marshall says the well-being of the residents in the home is what should be more important than asking those questions first. I agree. I mean, I know, I think sometimes people are just very, very, sorry, I'm grabbing my tissues here. I know that people can be very cynical. And so they're always asking questions because I guess they don't trust people. But this is a pretty obvious situation where it is a house fire. I mean, I don't know what more information you need at this stage, but I do not think that this is the appropriate time to ask questions. Sometimes we do ask questions if we think that people are taking advantage of a situation or people in the community. There's nothing that would lead you to believe that that is the case here. So I do agree that maybe we need to be a little bit more loving and less cynical in a situation like this. So good morning, Charles. Charles, of course, is back in the US. Charles, how are things going? So here's what we need immediately. And allow me to just pull up this list. Everything is kind of moving slow this morning in terms of the computer, but we're going to get this. Okay. So we have at least 3 boys in the home. So if you have any boys, there are boys' clothing and shoes. So they lost everything. So clothing and shoes. And, you know, even when you have a house fire, if everything is not charred, which I think in this house it probably was, but even if it wasn't, everything is filled with smoke, and you know it's not practical to try to recover a lot of those things. So we have 3 boys that we know about. We're checking the age of the toddler, the sex of the toddler, but the boys are 7, 10, and 13. So for the 7-year-old, we're looking for boys clothing size 7, shoe size 2.5. So that is for the 7-year-old. So again, if you have a child, and you know, children grow differently in terms of sizes. So you may have an older child that is still wearing size 7, or you have size 7 clothing that you have not yet given away. So please check your closets. I mean, I will check if the child is a girl, if the toddler's a girl, I should still have some 3T because my daughter's going to be 4 here in a bit, but she still is quite petite. So she's still wearing 3T, and some things she's still wearing 2. So check your closets. You know, kids grow differently, so we may or may not know exactly what. But the toddler, we're unaware, and this is where I need to reach out to just get some clarification, is we're actually unaware of the sex of the toddler. So then we have, so that was a 7-year-old. So boys clothing 7, shoe size 2.5. We have a 10-year-old boy who wears boys clothing size 12, and his shoe size is 4.5. So that's a 10-year-old. And we have a 13-year-old boy who wears clothing that's 12 to 14. So he seems to be kind of between clothing. And his shoe size is size 8. Now the toddler is a 3T. Like I said, we don't yet have an indication of, let me just see here, the sex of the toddler. But you know what, toddlers, a lot of, I'm just trying to ask this question about the toddler. With toddlers, a lot of times stuff is very unisex. It depends on what it is. But if you have any sort of colors that are not like pink or blue, I mean, my daughter wears blue stuff. I mean, it doesn't, it doesn't really matter too much. She wears superhero stuff, but a lot of people are into this keeping kids in very feminine or masculine looking clothing, whatever. Right now, the child is in need, but we will try to ascertain because people might have like dresses and stuff like that that obviously would definitely not be appropriate for a boy if the toddler's a boy. So we'll try to find out on the toddler. We also have a grandmother that wears a size 12 pants, large shirts, and shoe size is size 10. Now, the grandmother has some sort of a medical condition with her feet, so she's only able to wear open-toed shoes. So I'm gonna look, I wear like a 9.5, but sometimes I buy a 10. Especially with open-toed shoes, because I just find like it's a little bit wider and you get a bit more comfort. And the other thing too is I swear my feet have grown since I've had a baby. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but they don't seem to be shrinking back. So they feel like I get a little bit bigger. So size 10 shoes, I will definitely be making a donation of some of those, but they must be open-toed shoes because the person, like I said, has an issue where they can't, a medical condition where they can't wear closed-toed shoes. And then there's also a father who is wearing size 34 pants and large shirts and shoes size 9. So that's men's clothing, size 34 pants, large shirts, and shoes size 9. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 children, a grandmother, and a father. But there's somebody missing here. Okay, that's only 6, and they said it was a family of 8. So I don't know yet who the other persons were. So we're going to try to get some more information on them. So please, by all means, stay tuned on that one. And again, the contact information, it's Acts of Random Kindness, Cayman. They're the ones who are spearheading this, and we wish for them to do it. There's no need to duplicate our efforts and be sending people all over the place. So their contact number is 329-8716. I think that's the number for them. And there's also a, so someone just messaged and said that the kids are all boys, which would mean that the toddler is a boy as well. So we're going to definitely thank you for sending that WhatsApp message. We'll definitely try to get some confirmation on that. But that's good to know if that's the initial thinking. You can also contact them at info@artcayman.com. Of course, they have a Facebook page. And you can also email Booney Rooney, that's Booney, Rooney, Rooney @gmail.com. So please let us help these people as much as we can. All right, let me read some of your comments. Cayman, let us be known for what we've always been known for, which is really being some of the most wonderful people in the world. Let me just All right. Karen, everybody's asking about drop off. So we're going to, I wonder if, what time does Random Acts of Kindness open? I wonder if we can reach anyone. Okay, so it is a male. So the toddler is confirmed to be male. So all the children are male. So okay. All right, so all of the children are male. I'm just messaging acts of random kindness to see what other details that we can get. Because, like I said, we seem to be missing some of the household members. So we're going to try to figure out what's going on there. All right, so all of the children, the toddler 3T is a male. So I'm going to see if there's anything that I may have. I'm just trying to think for a 3T male. But also the toddler, it doesn't say what size shoes the toddler wears. So let's see if we can find out. Because probably I might have some unisex shoes. I mean, depending on, toddlers can wear all sorts of different shoe sizes at that age. So we'll find out. Okay, so again, all the children, we've got 4 children, all boys. So please dig in your closets. Yes, if you have monetary donations, I'm sure they will accept those as well. So Scott, size 34 for men. Thank you so much. Irvelyn agrees. True, and what they're giving you does not make sense. I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Catherine, we'll find out what more outside of clothing is needed. But right now, we know for women, it's size 12 clothing and size 10 open-toed shoes. Julianne is pledging to give $100. Thank you so much, Julianne, for that. So Catherine is talking more about household goods. So Catherine, I think for now, probably hold off on those types of items until we know where they're going, because, you need somewhere to put furniture, pots and plates and stuff like that. So I don't even know where this poor family is now being housed. It must be some sort of a temporary housing situation. So I would say hold on tight to those items. There'll probably be a time when those are definitely appropriate. Sorry. Yes, Rachel, all boys. Thank you so much. Rachel, are you with the organization? Because I've just sent them a message on Facebook. I wonder if you'd be willing to jump in on our conversation here so we can get a little bit more information about this family. Larry, hey Larry, tuned in from New York. Thank you so much for tuning in. And the contact number again for ARC is 329-8716 to arrange for donation of specific items. Thank you. Carolyn, thank you for joining in. If you guys are joining in late, please know that we are doing a public plea this morning for anyone who's able to donate to a family of 8 who have lost pretty much everything in a house fire on Friday. And the house fire looks like it was devastating enough. So let us not, have this family suffer unnecessarily when we are a community that is more than capable of coming together. And, that is just what we're all about. So I have faith that we will step up to the plate and assist these persons as much as possible. So we've got toddlers and boys ages 7, 10, and I think it was 13, that require clothing and shoes most urgently. So go in your closets, folks, dig through your stuff. I'm always surprised at how we buy so many things for our kids in terms of clothing, even that a lot of times they don't even use. Now, let me say this. A couple months ago, I donated, I think, like 4 bags of stuff out of my daughter's closet. I was doing one of my biannual cleanouts. She doesn't grow super fast, but she does grow. So we were able to get rid of a lot of stuff for her. And I'm just always in awe at how much stuff you have that you're not wearing and that you don't really need. So, whatever it is that you've got, dig deep, clear out the closets. This is a perfect time to, I know technically we're out of spring, but this is the perfect time to summer clean, pull out those things and donate, 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 right? That's the thing to do. Right now, people are in need. They need our assistance. They need our help. And we can, by all means, contribute. Most definitely. So I've just here updating the article so everyone's there that it's boys toddler clothing. Do we know, Rachel, like shoes for the toddler? What sort of shoe size are we talking about for the toddler? Good morning, Cecile. Cecile is tuned in from the UK. Thank you guys so much. We love our international crew that joins us every time we go live. I'm sure ARC would be willing to take cash donations as well, because sometimes you need to just buy food supplies and other things. So I have actually some Foster's gift cards that I will be donating. And I'm happy to make other gift certificate donations as well as a small cash donation. So I will contact them to make sure that they can get my donation. Sometimes I think to myself how incredibly fortunate we are. Good morning, Sue. Even during COVID, there are those of us who can afford to go out to dinner. We spend $50 on a meal, sometimes more than that, depending on where you're going, what restaurant you're at. And that $50, that $100, even $25, folks, is something that can really stretch for a person who is in need. And it really stretches even further when it is pooled together with other people. So the Caribbean saying 1-1 cocoa filled basket or something like that. So no matter what you have, pledge it, get it together. And I don't know if ARC has like an online account. Maybe that would be useful if we could get those types of details as well, because a lot of people would just be more than happy to go online and do a transfer of funds. Okay, so we'll get more details on that as the day progresses. Alma says that she wants to donate a gift card for J. Michael for the kids. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Alma. And yeah, I think gift cards are a great idea, a gift certificate, because sometimes you may not have any young children or be able to actually go through your closets, but you can certainly sometimes you don't want to go and pick out clothing because you don't know what might be most appropriate either. But I think a gift card is the perfect solution where you can say, hey, I can do a gift card of $50, $100, whatever. And then that allows the individuals to go and specifically pick out exactly what they need. There have been a number of fires over the years that have devastated families. They've lost everything. And so I can only imagine what this family must be feeling at a time like this. And we just want them to know that we are Mankind. This is a community that stands by persons in this community when they need help. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who your mama is or who your pa. We don't care about any of those things. In a time like this, we are here to provide assistance. And it's even worse, in my opinion, when there are children, young children, who will be impacted by this. So it breaks my heart, actually, because I have a 3-year-old. I can't imagine, um, having a house fire where you've like lost everything and having to try to deal with the emotional stress and trauma of that, um, as well as Rachel has just provided a donate online link. So Rachel, just give me 1 second. I'm going to try to pull that up actually. So yes, I do not, know how they are even going to get through this, but they will. They will get through this with the help of the community, but it will be some challenging times ahead. So Rachel shows how you can donate online. So give me 1 quick second. Like I said, my computer's crawling. I think I've got too much stuff open, which happens on occasion, and I need to start like closing windows and shutting stuff down. So I'm going to do some of that here now. Trying to just close out some of my windows to get the PC moving a little bit quicker than it is. So, right. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Rachel says you can do an online electronic funds transfer, Bank of Butterfield. Let me put the information here on the screen. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rachel. So Cayman's ARC account number at the Bank of Butterfield, and there's the account number, folks. They have both a US dollar account and a KYD or CI dollar account. So we will certainly ensure that that information is passed along. And we do have a number of people in our news group who often tune into the program later on. So please share this link if you're not able to watch live. As you guys know, as of this week, we're now putting all of our show links on the website in a post as well. So for those of you who might miss it live, you can always go back and watch it at your convenience. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Rachel. That is super useful information. Rachel, do you know, and this is just a question of interest if you're missing anyone, because I know it said that it was a family of 8, but it looks like we only have 6 persons that we are requesting assistance for. Do you happen to know if we are missing people? So are there people in the household that we don't yet have? Oh my gosh, sorry. If we don't yet have the details on, my apologies for yawning, folks. One of the reasons I stand up and do the show, because so early in the morning, I think you've got to get that blood flowing. You're still kind of like, wanting to sleep in until 9 o'clock in the morning. But, you get up and you get on with what you need to do. And you notice that whenever I'm standing and doing my show, I never yawn. That's because, hey, the blood is flowing, we're getting the blood pumping. But anytime I sit down and do the show, I'm just like yawning like crazy. So today I'm sitting down. Tomorrow I'll probably be standing up during the show. But when I stand up, I do feel like if I haven't eaten breakfast yet, like I'm a little bit sometimes like, okay, I've got to eat. Like I'm really feeling using that little bit extra energy requires me to eat. Okay. Thank you, Rachel, for that information. So Rachel says that she understands the mom has borrowed clothing already from her friends, So ARC are sharing specific details of what's needed right now, which is mostly the clothes and shoes for the boys, dad, and grandma. Thank you, Rachel, for clarifying that. I just wanted to make sure that we were not missing out on anyone else in the household. Okay, perfect. Right? So everyone, you've heard the list of items that are needed. I have just updated the CMR story on the website of all of the persons who are in need this morning. I do see that several, at least over 1,000 persons have read that story since we put it up late last night. I think it went up at 11:43 p.m. Sorry, I was up late. I did get the message earlier, but as I said, I was actually out yesterday evening. So when I got home, I was kind of burning the midnight oil, and I wanted to ensure that that was one of the things that I did before going to bed. So to spread the message even wider, I have shared that on my social media platform. Please, I'm asking all of you to do the exact same thing. Share it on your Facebook pages. You're in some groups. So I'm in the K-Moms group, which is now KY Mommies. I'm also in the Real Women of K-Man group. So I have shared in both of those groups. I know that I think I'm also in the Filipino community group, so I'll post it there. So whatever groups you're in, share in those group pages as well to spread the word. Share on your personal pages to spread the word. So this is, we always want to talk about stuff going viral. And God knows if this was some salacious video with somebody harming somebody else or somebody gyrating on each other or whatever, those things would have long gone viral. So I'm just asking you, there's no reason why random acts of kindness cannot be something that goes viral in this community as well. So please see to it that you share and reshare the respective links for persons who are in need at this time. Okay. All right, folks. We're going to move on. I'm just going to keep the account information there in case you're popping in and out of the live stream. Let's move on to a few other things that we wanted to discuss this morning. I see a number of persons already waking up and responding to the call for help. So there are, good morning, Sophia. Oh my gosh, don't remind me about hurricane season, but there was a tropical storm of some sort that I know we're watching. I guess you guys see the weather outside. Looks a little dreary today. The situation with the mosquitoes is crazy, but someone did send me a map of the weather, and there's some tropical depression that is out there. So listen, it is July the 22nd. We're coming up into August and the early weeks of September, which will be the height of hurricane season. So I know, my apologies. Oh my gosh. I think I need to get up and do some jumping jacks. I know that we are in the middle of this COVID crisis at the moment, and our energies have been primarily focused on that. However, do not, and I repeat, do not keep your eyes off of the fact that this is hurricane season. And we are right smack dab in the middle of it. And so it is incumbent on us to make sure that we are prepared for hurricane season. You have your hurricane preparedness kits, which oftentimes need refreshing. I mean, for a lot of us, they are canned goods and stuff that can last for years. But just check on them, make sure nothing has expired or that the kids or yourself haven't eaten into them during non-hurricane season. What I find is my little hurricane stash serves as a double donation stash. So a lot of times I will If I need to donate some goods, I will just pull out of that. And then I have to remember to replenish my hurricane stash of non perishable goods. So please, folks, make sure that you check on your hurricane supplies, review your hurricane plan, and be prepared to, if you need to, deploy those plans. All right. So thank you for the reminder. We are watching, it has no name yet, but it's called Tropical Depression 7 is on our radar, folks. And Tropical Depression 7 could very well turn into Hurricane so-and-so, whatever they're going to name it. So this is why now we want to ensure that we are paying attention. So here are some photos of Tropical Depression 7. Carol is saying it might turn into Gonzalo. Is that the next name that's on the list? I didn't even know that we had A through F yet. But if you're not paying attention to these storms, trust me, they get named as soon as they become significant, right? I'm hoping and praying and wishing upon a star that we do not have a hurricane this year, because God knows that is the last thing that we need on top of COVID and everything else that's going on. In so many respects, 2020 seems like a bit of a surreal year where everything is just being thrown at us. But it's a sign of the times, folks. I mean, you know, we live in a fast-paced world, and whether it's the Sahara dust storm, which I heard there's another wave that's coming off in relation to that, we pretty much know everything that's going on, and sometimes you feel overwhelmed by the amount of information about these things. But preparation, as with most things in this world, preparation is key. So prepare evacuation plans. You know, what family drills. So sometimes you need to refresh the minds of family members in terms of what they need to do. Should a hurricane come, making sure you have, you know, are you going to board up your windows? Do you have hurricane shutters? I know some people were actually saying to me that they were going to take some of the proceeds of their pension money and purchase and install hurricane shutters, which are so incredibly expensive. And hurricane shutters seem to become more expensive as we enter the hurricane season, because I don't know why, but you know, you would think if you're entering the hurricane season and more people are thinking about it, more people are installing them, you would get a bit of a price break, but that does not seem to be the case. So this is Tropical Depression 7, moving at 35 miles per hour as of, I think this was sent to me, hold on, late last night. And that is what that looks like. So it's moving at about between 50 and 60 miles per hour. It has some variable speeds there. So 60, and it's kind of heading, and definitely a region that we need to be concerned about. It's spinning, and so let's keep an eye on this one. So it's west-northwest at 8 miles per hour. But you know how hurricanes are. They can take a turn in no time at all. So this is a stark reminder. Check the gutters, folks. Clean out your gutters. You know, any debris that's around the house. We've all got coconut trees. Shake those coconut trees down. Prune them, because those things become flying projectiles during a time like a hurricane, which is incredibly dangerous. Sophia, yes, thank you. Yes, so Carol is saying the name is possibly Gonzalo. Morna, good morning, my dear. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, Morna, if you're just tuning in, we have up on the screen account details for ARC Cayman, which is Acts of Random Kindness. And they are a nonprofit organization that really steps up to the plate all the time, in fact, to help people in this community, whether it's individuals with like specific housing needs, or in this case, a family of 8 that has lost everything to a house fire. So we are in urgent need of clothing for boys. There are 4 boys in the family. There's also a father, and there is a grandmother who is in need as well. So I'll post the link again in case you missed it on the Facebook page of where you can go to make your donations. And if you're making monetary donations, you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it right from your computer, online, to ARC. And they're the ones, again, who are coordinating this effort. So we're asking you to go through them. Don't be giving your money. In years past, we have heard of stories involving a certain Matthew Leslie, where people gave him donations, and then there was always a question of what happened to those donations. And in fact, I know for a fact, and he can drag me back to court for this all he wants, I don't really care, because this is a fact here, that the police have contacted him in the past over complaints from persons, family members of people who he claims to have collected money on behalf of. And some of that money was not handed over to the appropriate persons. Let's just leave it at that. He supposedly was helping some persons, again, another house in Windsor Park where they lost everything to house fire. Or he was going to make sure these people's houses got rebuilt. And to this day, no such thing has happened. So, I am always happy to work with certified nonprofit organizations. They have a board of directors. Hopefully they have, a financial team that is auditing their finances and so on. And I think that they are people that you can trust. The organization, anyway, are people that you can trust. And if they are not, at some point they'll be held to account. But don't go around just randomly listening to people about, oh, they're collecting money and they're doing this and they're doing that, and you must personally give them money. I don't even like to, sometimes we will make you aware of something that's going on, and I kind of spearhead it. And sometimes people say to me, I've got customers like, Sandy, I'll just put it in your account because I know that you'll definitely get the money to those individuals. I don't even like doing that. Like, I don't feel 100% comfortable doing that. Of course, I'm not keeping anybody's money. I know that. And the people who know me know that. But at the same time, you like to have a separation of these types of things. So I don't believe in commingling funds and stuff like that if it can be helped. But I also do appreciate that, people would be like, I can't get to them. Or so if it comes down to this is the only way that you can actually make their donation, then I said, okay, give it to me, and then I'll just withdraw it out of the account or whatever and make sure that those individuals get it. But as much as possible, I try to push people in the direction of, this is the person, this is their contact number, or this is their bank account number. Deposit directly to them, because I don't want my name on the street. Oh, we gave Sandra $100 and whatever happened to the $100. No, send it directly to persons. So I love the fact that ARC Cayman is spearheading this effort. Thank you so much. Morna says, thank you so much for keeping me updated. I don't have my phone set a notification sign, so I missed the starting of the show, but I'm up early now. I'm up and ready now and know what happened. Okay, listen, Morna, you got to subscribe to the shows. Facebook has been doing a lot of changes, in particular to the Facebook app. And I was telling you guys last night that I live streamed from the app, which I haven't done in a little bit. And I saw that there's actually an ability to, I'm going to see if I can show you guys this, to add people to the conversation. I love that. I'm going to see if I can pull this up and show you guys this, in fact, because this is a super awesome feature because we can have more interaction with you guys if you want to join in by video. The problem with that, most of my shows are actually done. So I do have proper Canon camera in front of me, and it's not actually the phone that I'm using. So those features are not available on the PC. But I think that's cool. So Sue wants to know if ARC can pick up. Rachel, if you're still listening, can you let us know, are you guys in a position to go to people and actually pick up donations as opposed to people trying to come to you? Also, is there a drop-off location? If persons do want to come to ARC, where can they go to make those donations? Those were some of the questions that I had for ARC. Yeah, so Facebook is always adding features, I was just saying, which makes our lives easier. So Morna, I notice now that on my phone, because what we try to do is we try to pre-book a show so that you guys, that serves as a reminder that, hey, the show's coming up. And not only does it serve as a reminder that the show's coming up, but you can actually click on that and say, remind me once this show starts. And then the notification pops up on your phone. So I think that that's handy. I think even if you're on a computer watching this live stream, it would pop up as well. So Facebook is on the ball, man. They're doing all sorts of things. Let me see here. Okay. So I'm looking for this picture. Okay, so we have one active positive case of COVID-19 here in the Cayman Islands. I think we are still trending relatively well, all things considered. Everyone is quite anxious about hearing more about the plan for reopening our borders come September the 1st, because it is pretty clear that other countries who have reopened their borders have all regretted it. I've not seen a single country yet that has successfully reopened their borders. Now, I know that we are very optimistic people, but I think we need to be very realistic people at a time like this. So we'll see. You know, we're talking about, this phased in approach. It turns out the phased in reopening is nothing that is unique to the Cayman Islands. Most people are doing it. So that is all right, folks. There's lots of interesting things going on here at Cayman Mall Road. You guys know we're always trying to make sure that we keep you guys not just updated with the news and information, but we do a lot behind the scenes to try to take ourselves and this platform to the next level. And I'm always tickled pink about that. I'm a person who believes in improving. We can all improve and do better. And so I'm very, very excited to tell you guys that we are investing in some additional equipment that's going to allow us to be more on the ball from a remote sense. So we're going to be out in the streets more, covering more things, and there will be technology that we're investing in that will allow that to happen. Thank you so much to our advertisers, because this is where CMR is starting to monetize a little bit. Means we make a little bit of money, And that monetization goes back into the purchasing of equipment that we need and maintaining, our platform and our servers and that sort of thing. So we are ever so thankful for companies like Popeyes and Burger King, who've been with us for a while now. They are always so gracious. They provide gift certificates on a regular basis, which, by the way, don't let me forget to give some away this morning. We did some yesterday, and I need those persons to contact me because when I'm like talking like this, I say, I know Miss Sue won one, and I can't remember who else. Contact me because I will forget. I will literally forget once the show's over who got a gift certificate. So contact me, and I'll arrange to get you those. But I just remember Miss Sue. Sorry, because it was in celebration of her birthday last week. So we share the love around here. We'll make sure that you guys get gift certificates and so on from our sponsors. And of course, Miracle Broker. If you guys have noticed, recently they've come on board. And so we're going to be working with them. And we are just tickled pink to be working with them. They are actually Cayman's largest shipping company. And this is something that you may not know because it's a bit of an interesting tidbit of information. They're Cayman's largest shipping company, but they don't own a ship. So that tells you a lot about their mode of doing business. They've been incredibly successful by partnering with people who do have the ships both regionally and around the world to make sure that we can get our goods readily available to us here in the Cayman Islands. So hats off to them. And you know what I love about businesses like Miracle Brokers? The CEO, the owner, the MD, the president, whatever we want to call her, is a woman. And this is a woman who has done this on her own without a husband being there, without a man backing her. And I know the struggles of being a woman in business and, just even how people will deal with you can be incredibly interesting when you're a woman in business. Recently, I had to have a conversation about, and I know Caribbean men are very, very different at times when it comes to dealing with women in general. But, I had to have a little conversation with someone that I do business with to say, hey, do you mind not calling me sweetie and lovey-dovey and all these kind of terms because it's not professional. And I am a married woman, and I don't want anyone to ever think that they can somehow cross the line with me because they've been kind of using these terms of endearment. I think that the person just does this a lot because I've seen them do it with other people. But sometimes you've got to kind of create those boundaries. And as women in business, we know all about having to create boundaries when we deal with people because I don't know what it is about men. They see women who are leaders and who are qualified and who can run the show, who can run countries and whatever. They still see us as a woman first and foremost. And with that comes certain unique challenges. So big up to Miss Irma Arch over at Miracle Broker. She is a boss lady, as we like to say, in all ways of defining that word. And one day, she's such an interesting person. One day we need to sit down and have a conversation with her just to learn a little bit more about women in business, because I think that that's a whole discussion and conversation that we should be having as well. To encourage other young women to become entrepreneurs. There are women before you who've done it, who started with absolutely nothing, started from scratch, and they now have successful businesses. And so you should be able to do that as well, knowing that it can be done, just giving you the confidence that others have come before you and have done so. So here's another interesting tidbit. Someone mentioned to me that the Lands and Surveying Department had been hacked. Now, this I do not know for a fact. The Lands and Surveying Department or government hasn't actually said anything about this. But what I do know is their website is under construction. So it could be one of those things where people are thinking it has been hacked because it's under construction. And there's two different websites for lands and surveying. And so both of them are under construction at the exact same time. And I kind of wonder if that is what is leading people to quander or to wonder whether or not it has been hacked. Um, I don't know that for a fact, like I said, but that information has come to us. I went last night and I had a look at the website. And what I did see is it is under construction. So is that a hackeration? I don't know. But if it is, hopefully they are going to sort that out shortly. Wouldn't be the first time, by all means, that a government website has been hacked. You remember, I think it was during the election. Do you guys remember that when the election website was hacked, which was not good? So hopefully, whoever they have designing their websites have put some additional measures in place to ensure that these types of things do not happen. Because there's actually data on the back end of, in particular, the elections website. There's voter data that's there. I don't think it's anything too personal. I mean, hopefully not. But yes, you need to be cautious, and just more careful with any potential data breaches because of hackers. All right, let's see what your comments are that are coming in. Good morning, Kizzy. Thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate that. Speaking of men, you know how you get these random men that you don't even know? Sometimes they're not even in the Cayman Islands, just DMing you and sending you these messages. Oh, you're so beautiful. I'm like, listen, stay out of my DMs. If I don't know you, especially, stay out of my DMs and keep your opinions to yourself. But Kizzy, I love your opinion this morning. Thank you. Krista, good morning. We're still waiting on you, girlfriend. Isadora, looks like Isadora has tuned in. Morna is saying good morning to Isadora. I don't see a comment from Izzy, but it must be that she's just tuned in because Morna is noticing her presence. So, okay, tell you guys how I'm viewing this show. I don't actually see all 80 of you that are constantly logging in. I'm only seeing who is commenting. Oh, Mario, thank you for this. So, Mario says they sent this message to users previously. We wish to make you aware that Thursday, July 16th at 2 p.m., the website, Cayman Info subscription website, and the department's website at 5 p.m. is scheduled to be down for approximately 24 hours. We'll be using this time to move our system to a new secure network. Thank you for that information, Mario. That was the 16th. It has been almost a week and it's still down, still under construction. So they're just typically late, like government can be, I guess. But we appreciate that information. So it looks like it is not a matter of them being hacked. It's just a matter of them moving servers, doing some website reconstruction, and that's good news. But it's not a hacking. And sometimes you have to do those things. I mean, we have had to migrate here on Cayman Mall Road to a new platform, which we did over a year ago. And then we had some growing pains because, as we continue to grow and flourish and we have more people on our platform or people on our website, we actually had to change our hosting company because we were having some issues where the previous hosting company could not handle the load of visitors that we would get on our website, which is a good thing in a way, but there was a bad thing because it would go down and give people a 404 error message. But listen, no matter what sort of system you have in place, sometimes these things will happen. We've seen with the Compass a few weeks back where they had an issue where their page wasn't loading for a bit. Even EK Trade, which is a very popular website here in the Cayman Islands, they also had an issue recently where people could not access their website. And in fact, I think it was Friday, last week, Friday, there were a number of websites that were crawling, and this was right before 5 o'clock. I remember because I was going to pick up my daughter, and I was trying to do something. I couldn't get on. I was like, what is going on? But it seems like it was a broader outage coming out of not just the US, but primarily a lot of US pages and stuff were being impacted by it. But we're all interconnected in this world of the super information highway. And so what that means is if there's a break in the communication line, whether it's the Maya 1 cable, which runs under the seabed between us and Miami, or if the connection in Miami goes down, we are at the mercy of all of those things working, because really we have one conduit into this island for internet, and then it kind of goes out from there. So when our suppliers have an issue, it appears that we will also have an issue. So thank you, Mario, for clarifying that point. I think that that is super useful information. And hopefully they are working on getting that up and running as quickly as possible. So Cayman Airways is reminding you now that inter-island travel is open. And so they will be doing the most that they can to put on flights to accommodate all of us who wish to travel to and fro the sister islands. So please continue to check the Cayman Airways website, or you can contact their phone number to book your domestic flights. Now, listen, Cayman Airways is their national airline. They are our national carrier. And so we try to support them as much as we can. And right now, everyone is trying to support the concept of staycations whilst that tourism dollar isn't there. There are a lot of our family members who rely on the tour industry or some part of tourism to survive. So we wish to encourage those persons to get out there and support local businesses, even though they've not always been as supportive of us in the past. We're going to set those things aside in this moment and support them as much as you can. So Cayman Brac would love to have us, I'm sure, Brackers and even Little Cayman would love to have us come over as visitors and spend the weekend with them. And you don't have to go for a weekend. Like some of us are still working remotely. Go for a midweek trip. I mean, I'm thinking about going to the Brac for a couple days, just as a de-stressor. I think that's a great idea. But I need to make sure the budget is right first. So Cayman Airways is reminding you that there's no longer any restrictions in terms of like testing. As long as you have been in Grand Cayman for at least 14 days, you can travel now to the sister islands without the requirement to take a COVID-19 test or coronavirus test. So Cayman Airways has been busy putting together their domestic schedule to accommodate those persons who wish to travel in and out of the Cayman Islands. So I will just paste this link here for those of you who are interested in reading that one. So again, big shout out to Cayman Airways. Larry, you know what, Larry? Let's have this discussion. Why is yawning contagious? I don't even know. It's a psychological thing that when you see people yawn, you yawn whether you need to yawn or not. And can I tell you something, Larry? It is it's not unique to human beings. Let me tell you what I mean. I have always had dogs most of my adult life. And if I'm sitting down, and sometimes I would test this theory on purpose, I would just yawn just because. And you can, sorry, I'm not even forcing that yawn. Like I'm just really yawning. Like I said, I think I need to get up and do some jumping jacks. But did you know that, ooh, we got a bit of good news here. Oh, perfect. Okay. So yes, I'm going to share that good news here in a minute. What was I saying? Larry, yeah. So it's interspecies as well. So sometimes I would like purposely yawn, and then my poor dog, 2 seconds later, yawning as well. So yeah, I don't know what it is about seeing someone else yawn or this is ridiculous this morning though. I mean, really and truly, I've yawned like 20 times. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning so much today. But yes, it is very contagious. It's like you see that happen and then you feel like you've got a yawn as well. And it's just Rosanna's laughing at me, but can I just tell you who else is yawning with me? Larry, obviously it happened to Larry. Larry's like, oh my God, Sandy, please stop with the yawning. And you know what? We still have like 45 minutes left in this show. I am willing to bet you that if I stood up, which means I have a standing desk. If I stood up and pulled this desk up, I would probably not yawn again for the entire day. So there's something also about sitting down. I don't know if it compresses I don't know what it does, but there has to be some scientific explanation to this as to why anytime I'm sitting down, I am more likely to yawn than when I'm standing up. I don't yawn when I'm standing up. So isn't that like super weird? I think I may pull up my desk though, because I feel like my yawning is a distraction to everything this morning. So, yes, Cayman Airways, ready to go. Book your flights. Go to Little Cayman. Go to the BRAC. Enjoy a staycation on our sister islands. Visit friends and relatives over there. I'm thinking that I could do it as sort of a joint work trip because we don't get to talk and interact with BRACers except if they join the live stream. So, I would like to get out in the field and do some interviewing and stuff with them ASAP. Malita, you're raising your hand because you're yawning as well? Girl, let me tell you, it's a serious thing. So I've just received word. Here's some good news from our friends there at Value Med Pharmacy. They said that they're honored to fulfill their promise of installing an ATM in Bordentown East. This was made possible through the tenacity of Minister Seymour, to whom we express our sincere gratitude. We're now proud to announce that Cayman National Bank, Cayman's best bank, I should say, in my opinion, automatic teller machine, ATM machine, is now located inside of Value Med for your convenience. And Value Med Pharmacy is located at Evron Plaza, which is at number 126 Anton Bodden Drive. And the pharmacy is open from 8:30 a.m. until 9 p.m. Monday to Saturday, and Sunday and public holidays from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. So, breaking news, you heard it first here on Cayman Mall Road, that Value Med Pharmacy in Bordentown, that little plaza, it's when you take the bypass, is that what we're calling it? But, the cut through, not on the old main road, but a little cut through road past Bordentown Primary School. There is a plaza in that area called Evron Plaza, and Value Med Pharmacy is in that plaza. So that is their third location, I believe. They're Grand Harbor, West Bay Road, and then they're there. So yes, Value Med Pharmacy is Value Med Pharmacy. Yes. They have to think about it for a second about their locations, but yes, they now have an ATM machine. So if you need to get cash, sometimes you can. Alma says she just read that too about Value Med Pharmacy. Okay, good. All right, so yesterday we did a news story about a company, a mutual funds administrator company that SEMA has basically told to cease and desist, shut down, stop what you're doing. You're not doing a very good job of this. You're in constant contravention and breach of the laws of the Cayman Islands, including the anti-money laundering law, the mutual funds law. Now, I know most of us may not necessarily do business with a mutual funds law. Like, we don't have a mutual fund set up, so we don't need a mutual funds administrator, but you never know. So don't know if you guys saw this particular story or not, but this company is being accused of the mutual fund administrators of not supplying audited financial statements for multiple years, not having a money laundering reporting officer or an assistant money laundering reporting officer. And these are requirements by law, folks. And so they gave them like an initial warning about this. And they have since now issued a suspension. They've revoked their full mutual funds administrator's license. And this company is called Focus Administration Limited. And this is effective from July the 8th. So the notice did go up shortly after that because of ongoing issues related to insolvency and ongoing breaches after a previous citation. So you guys know that CIMA, which stands for the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority, they are responsible. They're the regulatory agency for a number of different types of companies on the island. Registered like companies in a sense that if you are a company administrator, so you deal with registering companies and your registered office and you provide those services, you have to have a license to do that. And so to act as registered office and so on. If you want to administer funds, you need to have a fund administration license as well. And so there's different types of licenses that CIMA approves. Money services businesses have to go through CIMA. So there's a money services business license. And there's laws that, you know, try to control all of these different entities so that they don't just run amok and, you know, laundering money or not doing their finances correctly and putting us under all sorts of bad scrutiny worldwide when it comes to our financial services industry, which, by the way, we can see how incredibly important our financial services industry is, because right now that 70% of, you know, 30% is tourism, the other 70% pretty much comes from financial services, more or less, is really what is holding this country together. So, you know, people by and large have been able to, outside of the tourism industry, have been able to continue to work, law firms and accounting firms and so on, because of the strength of that industry. So we can never do anything to jeopardize that. And I think that this now is where, you know, we become very much in the spotlight. And so that means that CIMA has always had and continues to have a very important role as the agency that regulates those things. So kudos to CIMA, hats off to them. And in this particular case, the two directors are women by the name of Michelle Cullen and Barbara O'Donnell. And what we have discovered, interestingly enough, is that they are a mother and daughter team. So I don't know either one of them, but CIMA has said, we're going to revoke your license because, number one, you're in contravention of the Mutual Funds Law 2020 revision and the Anti-Money Laundering Regulations 2020 revision. And they specified that there was a previous decision notice issued on the 25th of May, which basically had told them to cease, you know, it's like they had to stop, I think, dealing with clients. And so it appears that they continued to ignore those that notice. And CIMA is not the type of entity that if they issue you a notice, you really don't ignore it. You should pay attention, because CIMA has the power to fine you and to enforce all sorts of things. And they definitely have the power to revoke your license as well. So it turns out that CIMA did exactly that. They now revoked their license, and they have said that they failed to provide audited financial statements for 2018 and 2019. They have also failed to provide evidence of sufficient company capitalization, and there's a minimum requirement of a CI $400,000 as required by law. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but when you set up these types of companies for different reasons, SEMA and the law has in place that you have to be capitalized up to a certain point. Even money services businesses have to have a certain amount of capitalization. I think that used to be $30,000. I don't know if that's been changed in any way, but that's the minimum. And in fact, SEMA can dictate that it's more than that. I think they have some discretionary power. So this young lady here, whose picture's up, this is Michelle Cullen, and this is the daughter of Barbara O'Donnell. And Michelle seems to be involved in the DART club or DART organization. DART meaning darts that you throw, not Dart the man. Let me clarify that point. So yeah, their notice instructs them to exit all client relationships as a mutual fund services administrator and registered office. So according to the revocation notice, the fund administrators continued to be in breach of the law by failing to provide these audited financials for 2018 and 2019, and failing to provide evidence of sufficient capitalization of a minimum of $400,000 as required by law, and failing to provide documentation for a 2019 on-site inspection to be carried out. So a lot of people don't know this if you've never worked in the fund business, but these companies actually are subject to inspections by the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority. So even insurance companies, you know, I'm trying to think if SEMA is responsible for pension administrators. I kind of don't think that they are the regulatory inspectors for that. That's probably DLP. But SEMA has an entire team of professionals that carry out inspections, on-site inspections all the time. They are always out and about. I briefly worked for SEMA, so I know this as a fact. And this is Barbara O'Donnell. So yes, so they're always out and about. You see them walking around with their little suitcases, and they go into these companies and they need to review their books and look at their audited financials. And, you know, there's certain things that they are looking for in terms of compliance, making sure these companies remain compliant with the various laws that they have to remain compliant with. So I hear my little Coco by the door. Shall I invite Coco into the studio this morning so that she can spend some time with us? Let's take a quick commercial break so that we can have Coco join us. She's going to be my co-host for the remaining of the show.
Miracle Brokers is back. That's right. We're fully reopened and back to work. Our agents are here to serve you with all of your packing and shipping needs. Need to move? Don't worry. Give us a call today. Collect a package, shipping around the world, or straight to Cayman? You got it. Give us a call on 949-5989. Collection by personalized appointment only, where our dedicated agents are on standby to personally assist you. Don't forget to wear your mask, maintain social distancing, and one person per appointment. Check us out at miraclebrokers.com today.
All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you guys so much. I've got Coco in my lap. You can't really see her, I don't think, that well. But this is little Miss Coco. Say good morning to everybody, Coco. Coco needs to go to the groomers. Say hi. She's looking out the window. She's like, I'm more interested in seeing a Gucci or something else than looking at the camera. What's up, Coco? Say hi to everybody. Say good morning, Mara, folks. How are you? Hello, Stinky Boo. You need to go to the groomers and get a haircut and a nice wash. So this is our family dog, Coco. You guys know Coco's famous. She's been with me. The way in which Coco and I came to be together is a very interesting story. And no, this is not the dog. Some people think this is a dog that I was dragged off to court and accused of stealing. That poor dog looks nothing like Coco. That was a black and white dog with cross eyes, unfortunately. And she had a hot mess of a life at such a young age. But this is Coco, and Coco's original owner had left to go to the UK, and our paths crossed with someone else who was temporarily housing Coco or something. They were trying to decide if they wanted to take her into their home. But Coco has always been very, very frisky. She is, even now, she is a senior citizen. I've had Coco for, oh my gosh, like almost 10 years. She's like 10, and I got her, I think, when she was like 8 or 9 months. But yeah, Coco has always been frisky. She's the type of dog that's going to jump on your furniture and do the most. And so, as a matter of fact, Coco will steal food. She did that yesterday. She's trying to get in the garbage. So you've always got to keep your eye out with Coco. If you let her outside, she'll run around the streets like she has no manners, and she won't come back when you call her sometimes. She tends to listen to men more than she does me. So when my husband says, Coco, get inside, she comes running like, oh, yes. Papa says I need to come inside, so I'm going to be a good girl. But with me, she doesn't listen quite as much. She's put on some weight over the years, so she's got that senior citizen, middle section thing going on. But she, sometimes in the morning, when she's up and about, I can hear her outside the door, because when she's up, she wants to let you know that she is up. So I literally hear her outside the door going, like, let me in. And she doesn't normally bark to be let in, but if she really is desperate to let in, she will. And she'll even scratch on the door. So a lot of times I just open the door and I let her in, because all she wants to do is come in here. Oh, there you go, Mama. So that she can then just lie down by my feet, because that's what dogs do, right? And now I hear her in the background rolling on the carpet behind me. So she's going to do a nice roll around before she settles down. So yes, that's Miss Coco. Her name is Coco Kita. And we had to change the name when I changed my name to Hill. So it's now Coco Kita Hill. It used to be Coco Kita Catron, which was a tongue twister. But yes, that is little Coco. She's like the sweetest dog ever. Like I said, I used to have dogs before, and I had big dogs. I've never had a small dog. So Coco is actually my first small dog. But what people don't know is that whole debacle with me being dragged off to court and accused of stealing a dog that I'd actually rescued and had come into our yard. When my other dogs died, I used to have dogs named Oscar and Rupert, and I had them for many, many years, and they were like my babies, And when they died, Oscar actually died on my birthday of all things, and they died like a month apart, and it was really hard. Like, Oscar died of a heartbreak because Rupert got sick and died, and then Oscar died of a heartbreak, and the vet was like, I've never seen a dog deteriorate like so quickly. Like, within a day, he was just like fine, and the next day he's having kidney failure. And I'm like, what is going on here? And it was just, he just missed his lifetime partner. Like, they were like this thick, like they were inseparable. And when they passed away, I was like, it was so hard. I mean, I gotta tell you, my girlfriend Mary will tell you, Melanie will tell you, like people who knew me back then. I cried. Even to this day, it gets me teary-eyed thinking about my dogs, because dogs are such wonderful companions, right? And I mean, I cried like a baby. When my dogs died, I was like inconsolable. I was just like, oh my God. And then the next thing you always think to yourself is, I never want to have another dog again. I don't want to go through this. This is too hard. And you guys are going to make me cry. Well, I'm going to make myself cry. But, I was like, this is too hard. I never want to lose another dog, yada, yada, yada. So for a couple of years, I didn't have a dog. And then the irony of it is, when I found this dog that landed me in court, I was like, nope, I'm not going to keep this dog. And my girlfriend's like, maybe this dog found you for a reason. Maybe you're supposed to keep this on. I was like, no. And then dogs have a way of really just tugging at your heartstrings immediately. And this little dog, we called her Precious because when you looked at her, you know, came on and be like, "Oh, Precious." Well, she was precious because I mean, like I said, her eyes are like all wonky and whatever. But I felt like this dog needed to be rescued in the end. Like she needed someone to highlight what people are doing in this country to dogs. Even so-called house dogs do not get the best treatment from owners. And I hate to say it, but by and large, the owners are Caymanian owners, just like in this case. This was a young mother who had two other young children. And despite the fact that she was hauling me off to court about this dog, the truth of the matter is she didn't even know when the dog went missing. You know, it was one of those situations where she had the dog on the back porch 99% of the time on an automatic feeder, on an automatic water dripper thing. And so when the dog ran off, and I know this to be the case because she had to amend her police statements after they allowed her to see my statement about the date of when the dog went missing, she didn't even know. Miss Coco, stop that noise. Coco. So now she's going to make all sorts of noise. Yeah, so she didn't even know exactly when the dog went missing. It was just the most bogus thing in the world, but nonetheless, that experience of having that dog with me for a number of months kind of reopened my heart. And I kind of felt after that, okay, I'm ready to get another dog. So Coco and I have a very interesting start because I had to track down her owner who was in Leeds in the UK to finally, you know, get her purchased. And I did that through social media. So thank you to Facebook, I was able to track her down. And for many, many years, this young lady and I stayed in touch because she really loved Coco as well, but she was not in a position to take Coco to the UK with her. And she wanted Coco to have a really good home. So Coco and I found each other, and Coco has been here ever since. And people have come and gone, and Coco's still here. And amazingly, Coco, seems that my browser has lost connection to your camera. I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me, but I think you can. It looks like you can, but for some reason the camera has disconnected. I do not know why. Let me click on start camera. Oh. Okay, that's weird. So yes, Coco came into my life, and when I had my daughter, Coco was here from day one, lying underneath her crib the very first day we brought her home. Coco was like, "Who is this little person? I don't know who she is, but I love her already." And yes, Coco was there for it, and she has been here ever since. So little Miss Coco is amazing as dogs go. I'm trying to get this camera back up, folks. Give me 1 second here, if I can do that. Yes. So my daughter loves Coco to pieces. Sometimes she torments her, and we always have to keep an eye on that situation, that it doesn't get too out of hand. And I always have to remind her, you've got to be gentle with animals. And of course, a dog is an animal, but sometimes she's just like, I want to hug her, and the squeeze is a little bit too hard. So it's always like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't over squeeze the dog. But I must say that Coco is an amazingly patient dog. I knew way before I had my daughter, many, many years ago, I was walking Coco in Newlands, and a little toddler came out of a house and walks up to Coco and grabbed Coco by like the face and kind of pulled on Coco's face. And, you know, in that moment, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And of course, as a dog owner, you want to put an end to those situations as quickly as possible. because you do not want your dog biting a child, right? And it was kind of, it happened so fast that I wasn't able to react as quickly as I should have. But thankfully, that tested Coco's temperament. And in the moment, Coco, she yelped out because it obviously hurt her, but she did not become aggressive with the dog. And I can tell you that probably 90% of dogs, as just a natural reaction to when someone is hurting them, would have snapped at that baby, at that toddler, and probably bit that child. And Coco didn't do that. So even then, all those years ago, I knew that Coco had the best temperament to have young children or a baby in the house. And sure enough, Coco has been amazing with my daughter. She's, sometimes I do see Coco getting a little agitated, and that's when, as dog owners, you've got to be responsible and you've got to step in and you have to explain to a child, even a baby, that no, 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 no. You don't touch the dog like that. Like, you've got to set limitations in place. Like, my daughter knows you don't walk up to strange dogs and be like, oh, I want to touch this dog, because you don't know anything about the dog. You don't know the temperament, you don't know if the dog might snatch. So she knows, and dealing with strange dogs, that you always ask permission from the owner. May I touch your dog? May I pet your dog? And of course, we are raising, she's almost 4 years old now, my daughter, but we're raising a daughter who loves animals. So every time she said, I was like, oh, that dog is so cute, he's so nice, he's so this. And the first thing she says to the owner, if she's allowed to pet them, is, I love your dog. And the owner's always like, aw. So that's how she is, right? But there are definitely boundaries that must be maintained between children and pets of all kinds, but especially dogs. So Coco is a gentle little creature. Sometimes, like I said, I can see her getting a little annoyed with Gigi if Gianna is like pulling her or on her collar or something, and we have to step in and stop that behavior immediately. But yeah, I love Coco. Coco is like the best dog I've ever had. But then again, I say that about every dog, because the best dog you've ever had is the best dog you've ever had for like different reasons. So I'm hoping you guys can still hear me, because I do see now that my screen has changed again. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with my camera feed. But my camera remains blank. Let me try unplugging it again. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, well, I'm operating under the premise that you guys can still hear me, if nothing else. But yes, we're going to be wrapping up this show here shortly anyway. Louis says, to experience pure love, you must own a dog. Ironically enough, dog is God spelled backwards, food for thought. Oh, yes, that is right, Louis. And I love that. Thank you so much. And I would say that I would have to agree with you. I mean, dogs have an ability to open up our hearts and our minds in such a way that I have found incredibly fascinating. And having a dog in your home is not the same thing as having a dog in your yard. Trust me, you get to appreciate them at a totally different level. And there is a significant bond there, I think, that can develop between dog and man, so to speak, or dog and the owners. So absolutely, absolutely, Louis. Thank you so much for that. I see someone calling me. I'm not sure if people are calling me to tell me that they can't hear me or what's going on. But yeah, something has definitely happened to my feed this morning. So even Odd says, good morning, everyone. Do you know if Travel Time is a toll-free number? If so, are you knowledgeable of what it is? So I think with Travel Time, the best way to reach them is to actually is to actually contact them by email. So all right, folks. Yes, I'm aware that you can't see me. I don't know what has happened to the camera. I keep unplugging it, but it looks like you can still hear me. So let me just take out the battery for a second on this camera. Yeah, I don't know what happened, Sue. I've just disappeared. Even odd, I'm trying to see if I can get the travel time information for you. But I think you can email them and they are online, and that's probably the best way of getting in contact with them. So travel time. All right, so I'll see if I can get that information there for you, even odd. Aldous is a 3-year-old boy, girl. The 3-year-old in the house fire, the toddler is a boy. Thank you very much. So again, if you joined the show late, we have updated the story. I think it's been updated that the 3-year-old toddler is a boy. And we are encouraging everyone to donate as much as you can. So even odd, go to exploregov.ky/travel time. And that will give you the information that you require. I think for the most part, they are trying to keep things online, in writing, that sort of thing, so that when you reach out to them, they have a record of all of those things. But I'll check and see if they still have an operational phone number that you can get in contact with them via. So flights coming up to Jamaica, and a few more to Miami. So please note that we will put that flight information up a little bit later on this morning. Those were confirmed. We were waiting on the details. We knew that additional flights and we had the dates, but I think now we've gotten some additional details on when those flights will be precisely. So by all means, if you need to leave, I know some people messaged me to say that they've overstayed because the immigration wasn't open. And so there is that option or possibility for you to now leave via Cayman Airways. So Sue says, I'm baffled as to why the new Cafe del Sol in Savannah has no Cayman staff at all foreign. This isn't right. With all the Caymanians looking for work, that wasn't the plan. This wasn't the plan. Well, I think, Sue, to be fair to them, based on my observations, they have simply pulled staff from other locations. So I don't know that they've taken on any additional staff, because remember, they actually closed their Georgetown location. And I think they just temporarily, until this one was open, absorb those individuals into the business at other locations during COVID or whatever. So I went there the other day for the first time for my Frappuccino, which I like to have sometimes. And interestingly enough, the young man, the Filipino young man who was there, was from another location previously. He worked at the one in Georgetown. So I think that that might be the case, Sue. It's not where they've done any new hiring. Having said that, though, I don't ever see Caymanians working at Cafe del Sol. And is it a case where Caymanians are not applying to work there, or are they just not getting the jobs? I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't have that information. But when I think of coffee shops in general, I am hard pressed to think of any coffee shop. I'm thinking about this now. I'm hard pressed to think of any coffee shop that actually has Caymanians hired. So is that a coincidence? Or, like I said, is this a situation where Caymanians are not interested in working in a coffee shop? I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe that's a discussion that we can have another day. But looks like we're just about out of time. Just checking our feeds quickly to see if there's anything urgent that's just come in. Oh yes, so the Kingston flights. My apologies, I was going to say this. We're going to put this up on the website. So I'll share this here shortly because this is quite a bit of detail about the KX numbers and so on. So I will share this. I do see that I clearly need to restart my computer. Like everything is just like moving super slow. So let me do that. Maybe that's why the poor camera is like off as well, because it's physically on, but it's not showing anything here. So we'll do a fresh restart of everything. Folks, today is Wednesday, July the 22nd. And I thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth. We will be back here tomorrow morning. Please remember, donate, 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 donate. There is a family in need here in the Cayman Islands, and we are way too small to make anyone be in need without us contributing and helping in some small way. So we have the information from Rachel. You can make monetary donations directly to the ARC bank account. Acts of Random Kindness is a nonprofit organization. We've got, them needing clothes of different sizes and so on. There's information to donate to the Bank of Butterfield account. You can do it from an electronic funds transfer, which means that you can do so from any bank online. So if you bank with CNB, FCIB, anyone that has online banking, by all means, you can make this donation. So please check that out. And yeah, I think that that's pretty much it. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sue again is asking about pickup. So Sue says, yes, you're right, but I know a young lady looking for work and would be happy to work there. Sue, tell her to apply to Cafe del Sol, because I think right now they're probably using bare bones staff because they're just reopening. So as the economy starts to pick back up, as more people know that they're open, they may start to get busy and be looking to hire additional staff. And if she has applied and they have her application on file, then hopefully, she should be given a chance, an opportunity. So our regional correspondent has just put up a story that says, son of reggae icon Peter Tosh dies after years in a coma. Wow. I did not know he was in a coma, his son. So that story has just been posted. Check that out, folks. Continue to stay tuned to Cayman Mall Road. We are working on a few stories that we are waiting additional information on. And yeah, so that's it. All right. I think that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. Thank you guys so much. We will be in touch with you guys as things happen and as breaking news occurs. I'm hoping that you guys have a blessed day, a wonderful day, and please be safe.
Miracle Brokers is back. That's right. We're fully reopened and back to work. Our agents are here to serve you with all of your packing and shipping needs. Need to move? Don't worry. Give us a call today. Collect a package, shipping around the world, or straight to Cayman? You got it. Give us a call on 949-5989. Collection by personalized appointment only, where our dedicated agents are on standby to personally assist you. Don't forget to wear your mask, maintain social distancing, and one person per appointment. Check us out at miraclebrokers.com today. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.